There are not many vehicles that scare me in World of Tanks PC that I could think of being brought into World of Tanks Blitz. I think that Wargaming would do a decent job balancing vehicles like the Object 279E, making sure that either the upper plate is weak or the gun has terrible damage per minute. Blitz and PC are very different. And I'll give Wargaming credit, they have done a decent job balancing the latest bunch of premiums and tier 10s that have come into the game. However, this is known as the Skoda T56. And these files here are grabbed from World of Tanks Blitz. You can clearly see these are the Blitz textures on this vehicle. This is what the vehicle looks like on World of Tanks PC. It is a tier 8 premium heavy tank, and it's a Czechoslovakian autoloading premium heavy tank. Now, what are the Czechoslovakian tanks known for on World of Tanks PC? Well, it is burst autoloading damage. Obviously, we've got the TVP-5051 in Blitz, and that tank's able to dump out 1,240 damage in a matter of 6 seconds, which is incredible. But this tank on World of Tanks PC is currently the strongest performing win rate and average damage vehicle in Tier 8. Why is that? Well, it has to do with the gun. Sure, its DPM is quite average at 2009, but it's where the average damage comes in. It has a 2-shell autoloader, a 460 damage per shot. 2-shell autoloader. In a matter of 3.5 seconds, this tank is able to dump out 920 damage. That is ridiculous. It is basically like getting what we have in Blitz being the M5 Yo, giving it more damage a hit, and then just making it a tier lower. Yeah, that is a pretty scary prospect. Now, obviously, Wargaming would nerf the alpha damage. You'd probably be either 420 or maybe even 400. But just thinking the fact that Wargaming could make a tank with a 2-shell autoloader at tier 8 with incredible armor. If we go to the 3D model of this tank and we go to the live model, this is the armor of the vehicle. Now, the black is all spaced armor. So the upper plate on flat ground, it's like 198. But if you're using the decent chunk of gun depression the vehicle does have, which is sitting at 8 degrees, yeah, that upper plate becomes pretty strong, 240 to 250 millimeters thick. The turret is upwards of 300 to 270 at weakest, and it's got spaced armor all over that you can't penetrate through. You can't see the cupola when the vehicle's fully hauled down, and side armor-wise, it's got really troll sides that are completely angled. So the armor it's good. It's nothing amazing, but if it's hauled down, it will be quite amazing, kind of like a 5A you can think of it when it is fully hauled down. It also goes pretty quick, going 35 kilometers per hour forward, but really, it's just a scary tank. This is currently a broken vehicle on World of Tanks PC, and if it's anything remotely like what it is on PC when it comes into Blitz, imagine a vehicle like a WZ-111 5A with a 2-shell autoloader down at tier 8. Yeah, pretty scary stuff. That's all I'm going to say. The other vehicle we're going to be breaking into in today's video is the E75 TSS, I like to call it. Now, we already have an E75 TS. This is a Tier 8 German premium heavy. But what if I told you another Tier 8 German premium heavy known as the E75 TS is coming into Blitz? Well, this is the vehicle. I mean, you can clearly see they are very similar looking. In fact, almost identical. The only difference is that this has basically a Lerva turret, and this tank does not. It has more of like a boxy, I don't even know what to say the turret looks like, but it's weird. But yeah, this is what the E75 TS on World of Tanks PC is, and I actually have the tank on my PC garage. It's a much more mobile vehicle. In fact, if we go back to Le Edge, you can take a look at the mobility. It goes 45 kilometers per hour. I mean, that's fast. The E75 TS in Blitz goes around 38 kilometers per hour, but let me do a bit of a comparison here. The power-to-weight ratio on this tank is sitting at around 17.56, not bad at all. It's got 1,408 horsepower and 17.56. That means its effective top speed on hard and medium terrain is 45 kilometers per hour. If we compare that to the E75 we have in Blitz, its power-to-weight ratio is 10.7. Yeah, 10.7. That means that imagine this tank with a higher top speed of now 45 kilometers per hour, but double the acceleration. I mean, it's insane. The tank also has traverse speed of like 35 degrees a second. It's just a flat-out better vehicle when it comes to mobility. However, it has some downsides. As we know, the E75 TS in Blitz has some pretty ridiculous armor. That's not the case for the one on PC. The armor on PC, if we go back to the live model, yeah, the upper plate on flat ground background is about 211 millimeters thick. That means even if you're using your gun depression at like this angle, it's about 230, and fully using your 8 degrees, well, it's good. I mean, don't get me wrong, 250 is very strong, but for the average tier 8 heavy take, I mean, you're going to cut right through that. You just load premium shells with most vehicles, and as you can see, you pen it most of the time. As well, it's got an extremely weak lower plate at 170, unlike the 200 millimeter thick E75 TS and Blitz. It is decent at side scraping, 200 millimeters there, 205 here, but yeah, that's really not going to bounce much. Same for the side armor, it's really not super strong. Even at this angle here, it's only about 170. The turret is very strong though. As you can see, the turret is very similar to the Larva, so hull down, very hard to pen. You got to hit right at the cheeks, which are still pretty decent at 223. Now, again, these are PC armor values, so I don't know how Blitz would actually make it come into the game, but I can definitely tell you that armor-wise, it would not be as good, nearly as good as the E75 TS. This is a slow-moving, lumbering heavy tank, and this is supposed to be almost like a heavium. It's got a very nice gun with pretty decent DPM on PC, very good mobility, but it sacrifices a lot on armor. And judging that this is a heavy, its camo is terrible. So you got a lot of hit points, you got a lot of mobility, and a very decent gun, but you sacrifice a lot. I'd like to see how this tank comes into Blitz. I don't know why Wargaming is thinking of bringing this vehicle into the game because, well, I mean, it is a, I just don't get it. I mean, we already have an E75 TS. I don't know why we need another, if I'm going to be frankly honest. We already have one. But I guess, hey, the more the merrier. We're going to have more tanks into the game, and I guess we'll have to see how it does perform. Maybe it'll even be a free event vehicle for all we know. But, yeah, I'd like to see how it is. Hopefully, all of you enjoyed today's video on this stuff. Now, any other news? There are a little bits of news here and there. Vehicles like the Concept 1B are getting a legendary camouflage, so we can actually take a look. The Lance & C is getting a legendary camo. This is the Lance & C here. Thank you very much, Asen. Front of it, I actually like the front. It looks pretty cool. I'm not a huge fan of the back, though. I wish that they had the French flag going all the way onto the back, and then right at this front plate here we had the front design. So it's okay, but it's nothing insane. If we take a look at the Concept 1B camo, I really don't like it. If I'm going to be completely honest, I don't like it. It's like a tiki style camo. I never liked the Chrysler K camo crazy mount, and this kind of just suits the Chrysler K if you can take a look here. I mean, we got feathers on the front. It's not bad, but I don't think it's great either. I wish there weren't the feathers and the little tiki totem. But apart from that, maybe you can actually take those off, because I don't think it looks bad with them off. You know, the design, I think the colors are pretty cool. I'm just not a huge fan of the camo. I think they could have done a better job. But let me know what you guys think about the camouflage in the comments down below. Other news, we got a Lance & C camo. It's actually pretty cool. I like the Lance & C camo. Here's the Lance & C. I think that this one looks very, very nice. I like the little moose on the front of it. We got the Swedish flag. This looks nice. This I actually really like for a legendary camo. So, yeah, quite a bit of news here and there on vehicles coming into the game. But for the most part, nothing insane. Oh, and we also have the 60 TP legendary camo. I thought I would show you guys. This is the 60 TP camo. Also looks very, very nice, especially with the PBR files. They did remove the lower part, which made it probably very hard to see what the lower plate looked like. So I'm glad about that. But yeah, looks very nice. This is a sexy legendary camo. This is one of those camos that I'm definitely going to buy and I'm going to use on my vehicle. Oops, I'm loading up Blitz on 2 accounts now, my Microsoft and the other. Either way, hopefully all of you enjoyed today's video. I thought I would share with you guys the most relevant information I knew about the game that was confirmed coming out there into the battlefield. So obviously, if you enjoyed today's video and you'd like to see more like it, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. But other than that, stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye!